So I challenged him. You could probably tell after my demeanor after the Monday practice, I wanted the competition to increase. So we had a good meeting on Tuesday. We just talked about how we got to be competitive on both sides of the ball. The defense had a really good scrimmage on Monday and won every category. And the scrimmage 2 Saturdays ago, that was actually a pretty competitive scrimmage where the offense won 2 and the defense won 3. And that's where you want to be as a team when we talk about our keys to victory, which is critical downs and yards per play, field position, points inside the 40, and turnover margin. So we talk about we're doing great with effort. Our physicality is increasing, but we got to be a smart football team. And I challenged them. They came out here, and there was a lot of elements today, which I was a little concerned. We had to bump everything up just based off of class issues. But we were out on the field at 6:45 doing a team run play action period, and they were halfway asleep. They probably woke up at 5:30, and then an hour and 15 minutes later, they're just hitting each other as hard as they can. And another thing was the elements where it was about 60 degrees and pretty cool on those first periods, and then by the end of practice, it was probably a 20-degree difference when you talk about the heat coming off of the turf as well. So very interesting climates that they had to go through. But the defensive backs were low on numbers, so they had to go every single play. I thought the offensive line fought through a lot of stuff and with heat, but overall the competitiveness of the whole practice was exactly where we wanted it. The offense showed signs of life. They hit some big plays, scored some touchdowns. It looked like we were playing football out there, and that's all I could ask for. Told them afterwards I couldn't be more pleased at where we're at as a team, on where we were on that first practice to where we are now. We have taken a lot of strides, just from a schematic issue, playing football, but also just as the culture of our team and coming together. And I couldn't be happier for where we're at. Now, we got a light practice Friday that is just going to be special teams work and just make sure that we're ready for the spring game so the offense and defense can get their plans in place, and then we'll roll the ball out there at 6 on Saturday and let them go at it.
Now, you were talking about on Monday, trying to get, you have the consistent effort, you want that consistent competitiveness. You seem like they were more competitive today. Do you feel like they're starting to take in on that?
Yeah, they are, and I'm realistic with them. I show them the stats, I show them where we need the areas of improvement, and they go out there and they respond. I was just talking with them after practice about I love how this team just worries about what we can control and we just play the next play. I'm the referee right now, and I was honest with them. I missed 2 calls, but I just said, hey, that could happen easily, and I like how they just line back up and they just get back to fighting, and that's all I can ask for as a coach, is for them to buy into what we're saying and go out there and give us effort, and they're doing all that.
Where do you feel like this team has made the most improvement during the spring?
I think we're at the beginning of spring, the defense was way ahead of the offense. But after walking off the field today, the competitiveness that we've just talked about, that's where I think the strides come, where the offense has still got a ways to go, but they're now starting to be competitive in certain aspects of the game. And that's part to being new coaches, new schemes, a little hesitation of just not being familiar with what we're trying to do. And just throughout the course of the summer and fall camp, we got plenty of time to get these guys back on the same page. But overall, I'd say just how we're starting to be pretty combative and competitive when we're out there in the practice.
You mentioned summer and fall camp, and how you're going to prepare them throughout that. What are your expectations for the spring game this Saturday?
First and foremost, you got to be healthy. That's the one thing that you want to do, is be healthy. But I just want to see them fly around and have some fun. There should be a good atmosphere. It's going to be great for these kids just to show everybody what they've been working on for the past 14 practices. And I just want to see I want to see a clean game. I don't want to see pre- and post-snap penalties. I just want to make it look like we know what we're doing and try to just execute simple things and get it in play. We went back and forth. We're not going to do a scoring system for the game, just based off of we still got to do some evaluation. So what we want to do is we want to throw it out there and just watch you guys see our guys play and give kids opportunities to go with the 1s and the 2s and because we're still trying to figure out who we want to put out there. So we went back and forth on it, and at the end of the day, we're just like, how do we just get the product that we're going to put out there and these fans can just see a little taste of what we're going to be, for the 2019 season.
So it's just going to be no score, just kind of offense versus defense style deal?
Yeah, so we'll do some kickoff returns just to work that and because we need to get some special teams work in. But we'll start that off, probably do 2 kickoff returns, and then we'll rotate from the minus 25 and plus 40 with the ones and twos for probably about 30 minutes running clock, around there, and then we'll put it down and do a 2-minute situation at the end of the first half, and then we'll do a little brief halftime, and then we'll do the same format again and end it with a 2-minute as well. So it'll get competitive at the end of the game where you can see these guys operate with fans watching them and try to just be a smart football team. So it's going to be interesting. So we got some good scenarios we're going to put these kids in and watch them go out there and compete. But we went back and forth on, do we split the teams? We're still evaluating quarterbacks. We're evaluating running backs. And when you start telling them that, hey, they're going with the twos and they're going with the ones, it's really not fair. So, like our running backs, you're going to see probably every single running back go with the one group, just to have the familiarity. And you're going to see Coach McGuire probably change that entire offensive lineup probably 30 times in the scrimmage. But we're going to do an offensive-defensive deal where we can compete and you guys can see what we're going to put out there.
Coach, over the years, we've seen during the spring game, we've seen at times 1, 2, 3 guys emerge who maybe fans didn't know a lot about.
Right.
All of a sudden, a guy has a big day in the spring game, and then in the fall has a big season.
That's what I want to see. I want to see somebody like, and if you go back to, you want to play a clean game. You want to make it look like we know what we're doing. But I want to see some guys emerge, like you're saying, especially from the offensive side. Defensive side, we got a lot of experience. You guys already probably have a pretty good feel of the product that you guys are putting out there. But offensively, let's see these guys go out there and play and someone do something and separate them from the competition that's going on. So I think that's going to be the fun part, and it's going to be in front of hopefully a pretty good atmosphere. So you can see these guys run around, and I think when you put these kids in these type of situations where you got a lot of people in the stands, they start playing a little bit differently than what they did like on a Wednesday morning. So again, we got to see who's going to step up, and that's why we went back and forth on the scoring system. But we still need to see some guys go out there and give them the right opportunity to run with our better players who we think and see if they can make some plays for us.
How well do you feel that the team is holding up physically and mentally at this stage of spring?
I think they're doing well. The defensive backs got a little banged up, which we protected them in a certain way. We did a lot of short yardage, red zone, scrimmages. But like JT Taylor, like JT does, Anthony Taylor, JT, he goes through. I think he did every single snap today. And you're sitting there like, I'm worrying, and we're giving him a little break in between because we still got to play and we still got to, get better at other positions. But I just love the toughness of that kid. But I think these kids just do what is told, and they get out there, they're banged up, they fought through it. But there's nothing severe, nothing season-ending injuries that have occurred so far. And knock on wood, I got a couple more practices left. But, mentally, I think these kids, they've been through a lot, and I think they understand the expectations, and they're ready to roll right now.
Is the energy level at a place where you want it to be at this stage?
It's getting there. It is. The offense scored twice on some long runs, and you saw the celebrations. You saw them go and celebrate with their teammates, which that's what you want to see as a coach: is the energy, the competitiveness, the trash talking, and then at the end of the scrimmage, they all come in and they understand they're all in this together, and none of this carries into the locker room.
You talked about working on situationals as spring has progressed, and we saw some of the 2-minute drill today. How well do you feel as if your offense and defense executed that?
It's good stuff. It's great for me too. After every single 2-minute drill that I've done at every single university where we're repping 2 scenarios each day with ones and a 2, so you're getting 4 opportunities of 2-minute, and we do that probably about 16 times in the spring where there's going to be a new situation pops up that probably none of us have ever seen. And that's the thing where you come back and you're like, all right, in this situation, it's 3rd down and 1 on the 1-yard line. And we need a field goal. Are we comfortable with our 3rd down call? Because if you don't get it, then clock runs out and you probably lose the game. Or do you take the delay of game and move it back and kick the field goal? Or, so those are the discussions we have, and we got to find out who we are as a team. Like, I'm always going to go for that on 3rd and 1, if we need a field goal, because you're just so close. The percentages are in your hand on that. But that's the thing that we talk through all the time. When to take timeouts, when to clock it, when to kick field goals, how to do things. And that's the fun stuff about these situational stuff, because the coaches are still talking through it too, and it's challenging the coaches on what they would do in certain situations as well. And I remember when I was calling my first game, and Kevin Sumlin, he did 2-minute on me probably 45 times that week, because as a play caller, you really got to think and got to go through things. And I grew as a coach, and that's why I believe in doing a lot of situational work, because it forces the coordinators and myself to think through every possible scenario that could happen in a game, because the game is very unique, and you're going to come across a lot of situations that you've never seen before.
What are you most looking forward to on Saturday?
Just the atmosphere and how everything's going to go, and I'm just curious. I'm curious on just what we're going to do when we go out there. Like as a new staff, we've been a part of a lot of different spring games, but there's a lot of different ways you can go about this stuff. But I feel like there's a good excitement. I feel like the kids are ready to go out there and show everybody what they've been working on for the past 14 practices.
We'll be talking to tight ends today. What kind of role is the tight end going to play in your offense?
It's a big role. I think you got to have a tight end to win games, win championships. That's, I think, one of the most sought-after positions at any level. If you look at, Gronk just retired, and it's, you're trying to see where the Patriots are going to go with that, because those body types are what football's about now. The guys that can attach in the backfield, all right, and added hats in the run fits, and then split out and cause mismatches on the perimeter. And there's a lot of things you can do with them. You can get them on the perimeter and block, because you're going to get a mismatch there. You can get them on the perimeter and throw one-on-one routes, because you're probably going to be matched up versus a linebacker. Or you can put them in the backfield and make the defense try to get another hat into the box, where you can actually maybe play action, throw it over their heads. So that tight end is such an important thing to anything that we do. And I think the growing trend right now are those big 6'4", 6'5" body types that can run and block.
Speaking more on tight ends, you have Blake Aragon that you moved from outside inside to tight end. What was the move there?
I just see he's a big body. He's 6'5", or good 6'4", 215. And he's putting weight on. He's naturally just going to get bigger. I see him by the time he ends here, he'll probably be 245 pounds or so. He's still young, and you just see how much weight that he can put on, and the kid can move at a pretty good level. So you can see the mismatches that he's going to create in the future.
Big upset for Texas State baseball last night.
Exactly. Fired up for Ty.
Is that a little bit of a preview for August?
Let's worry about the spring game right now. No, but happy for Ty. I thought that was pretty awesome for him.